Hello and welcome to Amigos IAS. I am Adnan. The Supreme Court today has given an important order to the State Bank of India with respect to electoral bonds case. So this was regarding the contempt plea which was filed by Association for Democratic Reforms, Prashant Bhushan, and the Communist Party of India, the Marxist version. Because in electoral bonds case, if you remember what I said in the previous class, the link is there in the description. So there are two videos I have done already on the topic, so do follow that. So this video is an extension of what I have discussed in the previous videos. In the previous video, as we have learned, that Supreme Court has struck down electoral bonds scheme and they directed the State Bank of India, which is the only bank to issue electoral bonds, that they need to submit the details of the electoral bonds by March 6th. But 2 days before this, extension of the last date was there, SBI has asked for extension till June 30. But by that time, elections will be done in India. The entire argument was regarding knowing the transparency of electoral process in India, understanding who is donating how much money to the political parties and whether there is any quid pro quo involved. That means the government has to work for the people. But if somebody is donating excess of amounts, and is there any kind of exchange involved between the corporates and the government with respect to any kind of tenders or any kind of favoring, that is what we need to understand here. So that was the main crux of the argument. But suddenly SBI asking for extension of these details in this digital India, the era what we live in, it was, of course, there was something problematic with that extension what SBI has asked. So contempt pleas were filed. And today Supreme Court has refused to provide SBI any extension. And they have told them that by tomorrow on March 12th, by the end of business hours, they have to submit the details of the electoral bonds. So let us try to understand what these orders were there. So let's jump into this particular article here. So court directs SBI to comply with its judgment in 1 day and warns against contempt proceedings. That means as of now, there has been no contempt against SBI, because even though they have not submitted the details on time, they have warned them and told, by tomorrow, if you don't submit the details of electoral bonds, then contempt pleas will be filed. So let's see this case. ADR versus State Bank of India, this particular case. 5-judge bench has dismissed the SBI's plea to extend the deadline, guys. Okay, that is one thing which already I told you. And now let's go to this point here. The one is, the ADR has informed that this application of extension is mala fide, and it talks about willfully or disobeying the court's orders by not giving the details. That is one point here. And background already, we have discussed in the previous video. Please do watch that in detail. In detail I have discussed those points. Let us see what argument Supreme Court has made, so SBI has made, to not give the details of the bonds. So Solicitor General and Senior Advocate Harish Salve, who was representing SBI in this case, he has told that he personally saw how much data sets SBI had to make in order to give this particular details. What he was saying is, there have been, you can see here, data sets are in two silos. Two details are there. One, the number of electoral bonds which was given by the SBI, and second one, which political parties have redeemed those bonds. So the number of bonds issued and who has encashed or redeemed those bonds, two separate data sets are there. And the SBI's argument is that it is difficult for us to match the details of the bonds with those who encashed it. That means two data sets are there. One, each bond issued separately, and each bond redeemed by the political parties. Now, which bond is redeemed by political party? You have to match both the sets, and they are in thousands. That is what is the argument made by SBI. And they say it is quite difficult for them to match those details in this less span of time. But the court has asked, what did you do in the last 26 days? That was a question Supreme Court directly asked to the SBI. And in the past, of course, in March 2021, former CJI, Justice Bobde has told that why can't you do this match the following? Take the returns submitted by political parties and the returns submitted by the companies and try to match the details. But who has the time and energy and this kind of exercise to do? Nobody can do it, guys. So that is very difficult also. And why can't the government provide us details in a very transparent manner? Why do we have to do all this mental gymnastics here? That was the question here, guys. And already till April 2019, whatever the electoral bonds were there, they already are there with the SBI. Okay, that is CGI has received those details in the sealed cover, but now it's not sealed cover. We need to have the entire details out on the website of Election Commission of India. So what happened in this case, as you can see, guys. So SBI is saying that we have issued 22,217 bonds. 22,000 plus bonds are there, and 22,000 plus are the bonds which are redeemed by the political parties. So both data sets include how much here? 44,434 data sets. That is what the SBI is saying. But CGI has not bought that argument, guys. And CGI has told what here? One important point to take away from the judgment, guys. The CGI has told, or the Supreme Court bench has told, the 5-judge bench has told, you don't have to match the details of the bonds issued and the bonds redeemed by political parties. No need to do that exercise. Okay, what you have to do? You have to give the two data sets. One is the details of the bonds, how much amount has been, of bonds have been purchased by whom. That means the donors list will be there, and how much of money was encashed by the political parties. These two separate data sets will be there. No need to do matching. Like exactly which company has given how much amount to a political party on which date, that note has to be matched. No need to match those things because it may take some time. That is a data which we can do it later. But as of now, you first give the details of these two data sets. One is how much money, how much electoral bonds have been issued all these years. And second data set is how much electoral bonds have been encashed by each political party. Then we have to do this, match the following thing with the bonds and the thing which has been redeemed by the political parties. That is what is the judgment here, guys. So, and if you don't do it by tomorrow, 12th March, contempt petition will be filed, because contempt clause will come here. Willful disobedience of court's judgments come under civil contempt here. So that is what Supreme Court has said. And also by March 15th, 5 p.m., the Election Commission will have to submit the details on the website. That means by tomorrow, SBI will give the details to the Election Commission, and Election Commission of India should compile the information of all these electoral bonds and submit in their website or publish in the website by 5 p.m. on 15th March 2024. So this is a judgment, guys. So this entire process is nothing but to enhance the electoral democracy of India, guys. That means transparency in electoral funding is an important concern. Free and fair elections means not only the independence of Election Commission should be guaranteed here, but also when it comes to the funding of political parties, people have the right to know. Article 19 clause 1 subclause A talks about right to freedom of speech and expression, which includes right to know information also. And as Supreme Court has held in the previous verdict, that proportionality test is not being met in this case. The privacy of donors is important, but the citizens' right to know information is also more important than that. So that is why we need to understand the electoral funding process, guys. It has to be transparent in nature. So let's hope Election Commission will submit the details after SBI will give them the details tomorrow. And let us hope it enhances the transparency of electoral funding in India, guys. So if you have any questions, do post in the comments. I will share the links of the previous two videos in the comment section as well and the description as well. So do watch that. So I'll be coming back by another video some other day. Keep watching Amigos IAS. Thank you.